everybody, welcome back to my channel with us, Savannah. I'm Savannah. Whether you are here because you saw me get my cartilage pierced a little over a year ago, or you're looking into getting your second holes pierced, or you're looking into getting pierced at studs, or you had a bad piercing experience as well, or any array of things, you're just here for some entertainment or the story, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm excited to share my story with you. Now, I will be completely honest with you, this is not the vlog that I was hoping to make. I got my helix pierced a little over a year ago, and that was my first piercing since I got my first lobes done as a child. So it was a really big deal for me. And so after I've had my helix for a while and I know how much I love it, I was considering getting my second holes done. So my friend Elena and I came up with this great plan where we were gonna go get our ears pierced together at her bachelorette. So we were gonna go to a place called Studs. It is in Nashville, Tennessee, but there's a lot of other locations as well. I personally was so excited to go because it just felt like it was going to be this whole experience. It was one of those really trendy places. They have a lot of really pretty earrings. It just seemed really fun, and they are like great on social media, so I see a lot of their stuff. And then they give you a cute little sticker packet when you're done. By the title of this video and pretty much everything that I've said so far, you've probably gathered that I did not have a great piercing experience. And if you can see my ears, which I don't know if you can right now, you may see that I don't even have my second piercing in right now. So let's dive in to why that is and just get into all the juicy deeds. Today we are in Nashville. We are here for Elena's bachelorette, and we are getting our second holes pierced. So this is what we're thinking. This is the stud right here. Or we're thinking about doing a bar. That's the bar. So we're thinking about do the stud, but we're not allowed to show you the piercing, so sorry about that. We'll talk about after. Going in. All right, I'm in the piercing room. Here is my my naked second holes. Let's see how it goes. Excited. Here they are. From the time I'm posting this video, it has been exactly 2 weeks and 3 days since I got my ears pierced. Honestly, the staff wasn't all that friendly. For example, when we walked in to check in, there was a box open of the jewelry that you're allowed to select when you get your piercing done. And we walked in and we were kind of like, oh, look, because we had looked online to see what we wanted, but we were seeing them in person for the first time. And the lady like kind of closed it and like moved it to the side. Again, just like not the most friendly kind of opening. We filled out all of our paperwork. Next, we went over and we picked our jewelry, and then we basically like went into our separate rooms with the other piercers. One thing that I thought was interesting is just based on what I saw online and kind of the whole reason I wanted to go in the first place is it did seem like such like a fun experience. And the other girls we were with were like, oh, can we go back with them? Or like, can we go like look at the placement? Can we like be support, hold your hand, whatever? And they were actually not very nice, and they were like, no, you need to wait in the lobbies, which totally fine. I completely understand that it is a very serious thing and that you need to focus, but just so you know, if you're like doing something like that, at least we weren't allowed to bring a support person into the room with us. They had to just like wait out in the lobby. At that point, basically they draw on like with a marker the placement, and honestly I was pretty nervous, and so I even was like looking at it and I'm like, you know, what do you think, like, are you sure, whatever? And I ran out to the girls. I was like, can I go out to the lobby to see what they think? And the girls kind of like sure. So I ran out to the girls and everyone was looking at it and they're like, yeah, like I think it's fine. And I just kind of was like, oh, I don't really know. Everything that I'd heard prior to this was that it hurt a little bit more to have your cartilage done than your lobe piercing. Like they're just supposed to be a lot easier. In my experience, and it was not a great experience, I would say that it hurt a little bit more. Again, nothing unbearable. Kind of breathe in, breathe out, and as you're breathing out, they pierce your ear. It wasn't horrible, but I felt like, number one, it lasted a bit longer, and two, I just felt more of a sensation. Like I felt like I was really kind of breathing through it, and it was just kind of lasting a bit longer, which, I mean, I guess there's more there. It's just like not as thick. Afterwards, honestly, it really is more of like a hot feeling, like your ears just feel a little bit warm. It's kind of like an irritating feeling. Like if you have earrings now, it's kind of like as if you put in like a bad earring. It's kind of like a little bit itchy or like a little bit irritated. It's not that much of a painful feeling, and honestly, even the first day, you can forget that you got it done. That's a little bit different with a cartilage. Obviously, it's a lot longer healing time, and afterwards, I felt like it was more of like a pinching feeling versus this was just like a little bit of irritation, a little bit warm, and then like, I mean, even an hour later, it felt like it wasn't even done. So Elena's piercing, fabulous. Honestly, they're beautiful, they're great. Mine, when I initially looked at them, I was really excited because I saw like the dazzlies in my ears, and I was looking at them like kind of like this in the mirror and then like this in the mirror, and I was so excited because I do really like the way that they look in my ears. However, we left the store and we went across the street, and I looked at myself, I think for the first time like head on, and I noticed that my earrings look really off space. So basically the spacing between this one and the spacing between this one looked really off. So I asked all of my friends. I even asked like a lady in Kendra Scott. I was like, hey, can you you be honest? Like, what do you think? And the general consensus was that, like, yes, that they were off. Some girls couldn't tell as much and others could definitely tell, but every time that I looked at myself in the mirror, like right now, like looking at the camera, I'm not sure that you can see my ears, but when I look in the mirror, when I looked at myself, pretty much all that I saw was that the piercing was just like not right. I went back in because I wanted to talk to them about it, because I wanted to see, like, maybe I'm just being picky, like maybe my anatomy's wrong. And I just thought, you know, if they can explain it to me and there's a reason for it, like I'll get used to it, it'll be fine. So I went back in and they were kind of like, oh, like, yeah, like I think it has to be like that. And they basically were like blaming it on like my anatomy and stuff. I didn't ask, but they were nice enough to refund the piercing fee, which is $50. I still obviously had to pay for the earrings, but they did that, which was definitely a nice thing. But I left and I was honestly pretty bummed because I was very excited to get it done and they were not spaced right. And in my mind, I was just so worried that I was gonna be stuck with these holes kind of the rest of my life. And they were like pretty aggressively spaced different. And I was just thinking about like the piercing that I have here and this lobe piercing, and I was thinking about, well, it has a pretty big hole. So does that mean I'm gonna have like this pretty big hole the rest of my life and they're not even spaced right? That was the last day of the bachelorette though. So the next day, my husband looked at my ear. He said the same thing. He's like, yeah, they're crooked. So we went back to the place where I got my cartilage, which was Sadhu Body Piercing and Modification in Charlotte. And I went into Cindy and I had a consultation with her and I said, I got my ears pierced yesterday and I think the spacing is a little off. Can you tell me your professional opinion? Like, what do you think? She looked right at me and she said, honestly, I have bad news for you. She said, not only is the spacing off, but they pierce your ears completely sideways and completely crooked. She said, honestly, usually when this happens, I tell people, pick which one you like best, like pick which spacing you like best, leave it in, let the other close, then get it re-pierced in about 6 weeks. But she said in my case, they were so like crooked and sideways that she didn't think that they would heal properly anyway. And if by some miracle they would heal properly, that it would be really hard to get my earrings in, just because I'd have to kind of like really finagle them. The hole wouldn't be in straight, because she said when you pierce, it should be like at a 90-degree angle, and it just like wasn't. But what I was still really, really concerned about, and I tried to do some research and I tried to figure this out, but I kind of couldn't in that little bit of time. I just felt like my lobe piercing is like so big, and I was like, is that ever gonna go away? Honestly, I could have kissed the woman when she told me that in about 6 weeks, you wouldn't even be able to tell that I had my ear pierced if I let them close. I was so happy because that was my biggest concern. I was like, I don't even care, take them out. And then in 6 weeks, I could get the re-pierced if I wanted to. What I wanna say to you is, if you had a bad piercing experience, definitely go somewhere else, talk to them. But if your piercing was in for one day and it was bad and you take it out, it should heal up completely fine. And that may be common sense, but to me, it wasn't. So hopefully this helps somebody. Right now, honestly, I just noticed today that you can barely tell that I got my ears pierced. It's so cool. That's to show you that 2 weeks and 3 days ago, I got my ears pierced and you can't even tell. So if you're nervous, just know that. For the first like 2 days afterwards, I had a big black mark on my ear because the earring was out and it was just marker. She said, leave it alone, like let it get wet with the water, like in the shower, pat it off, but be very careful, because she said what you want to happen is you want it to scab up and then you want to just leave the scabs alone. That way your ear can heal. Like if it's itchy, leave it alone. It did get a little bit itchy. And that's kind of how it stayed. So just this really little black dot. Once the marker went away, that's all it was. And I think it stayed there until this morning. I woke up and those were gone. At 6 weeks, I'm gonna go back in and I'll see if Sadhu can pierce them. My friend got hers done and they look really great. So this is not to say that all studs are bad. I definitely don't think that's the case. I don't want to make that blanket statement because every piercer's different. Everyone's body is different. Their anatomy is different. And I'm sure that the girl who did mine has probably done great piercings in the past. But I just wanted to share my honest experience with you because I shared my whole process of getting my helix done, and I just wanted to share this piece as well. I was gonna vlog it in the first place and be like, oh, my second hole's done, but you'll have to wait a couple weeks for that, and then I'll have them done again and I can show you. Let me show you the stickers because I'm talking about studs and the studs experience. Again, there really wasn't much of an experience at all, but it is cute that they give you these stickers. So it's this like little neon pouch. It says studs. There's a butterfly, like a neon green butterfly. It says pierce me. This is a studded S. This is maybe the only one I'll use because of my name. And then a little flower, studs, and then this is like a piercing card. Free gift after 5 studs purchases, scratch off to win, and studs aftercare. So yeah, so that's really it. The only other thing I want to comment on is in the title of the video, I said I should have gotten them done at Claire's, and that was basically just a joke as to say I should have gotten them done at Claire's because they would have gotten the spacing right. And they honestly probably would have, because they do these all the time. That being said, I do want to say that needles are definitely the way to go if you get your ears pierced. I know that Claire's does use guns, so try to avoid that. Don't go to Claire's, go somewhere where they use sterile, clean needles to pierce your ears. It's a lot better for healing time, a lot less germy. Hi everyone, it has been exactly 2 months since I got my second holes pierced for the first time, so I am going in to get them re-pierced. I'm getting them done at Sadu again by Cindy, who's the one that did my helix. I just want to give you a quick look at what my ears look like now. They look pretty close. Like, I feel like for the most part, you could look at my ears and the general person would not think that I ever got them pierced. This one is still showing a little pink. You can feel a little bit, I think, but not much. This one actually can feel more, but you can see it less. And it's more so like if I kind of like this and push my ear up a little bit that I can see it. So we're gonna go in and see what Cindy has to say about it. I'm wondering if it might hurt a little bit more. Just, I don't know if there's any like scar tissue or because there was holes there. Like, I'm really not sure. So wish me luck. Hopefully they'll be spaced right this time. Hi everyone, I'm back at home. I'm sitting on my screened-in porch, so you may hear the birdies, I'm sure you do. But I just want to tell you a little bit more about like my healing process and everything. So basically, I have to go back in 30 days to get this downsized. There is a really long post on the back. I'm not gonna be able to show you, but this is the same thing as my helix. And after 30 days, I need to get that changed out and just downsized because the swelling will go down. And then I have to keep this jewelry in for about 4 months. That's when I can change it out. So it says it's normal for your new piercing to be a little red or discolored. It says that there may be like some slight discharge from it, but that's completely normal. There will be some swelling. And then it tells me like what to do as far as like cleaning and everything. So basically you want to keep your piercing as dry as possible. In the shower, obviously it's going to get wet. So I just have to try to like not tug on it or anything because I do have these like really long posts. So I basically just need to, like, after there's shampoo and everything on it, I need to make sure that I like rinse it really well and that everything's good there. And then I need to take my saline solution. I use the Neomed wound wash, and I just need to like spray that on there. What I did with my cartilage that actually really helped it is I just use those like pointed Q-tips. So I go around. I'll link those in the description box below because those are super helpful if you get a piercing. The only thing that I'm super bummed about at this point with this whole piercing debacle is I wanted to get these done in March as early as possible. That way it could be totally fully healed by this point, because now it's summer. It is like the end of June and I want to like go to the beach and go swimming and submerge my head in water, and I can't do that for at least 6 weeks. So that's the only thing that stinks. Like, I'm literally going to the beach this week, and in the pool and in the ocean and everything, I have to keep my head out of water. So that's a bit inconvenient. Otherwise, I'm just not supposed to rotate my jewelry, and I will be sleeping on my piercing pillow on both sides, hopefully. I do still sleep with it. I'm kind of like just comfortable with it now, so that's not really going to be too much of an issue. But as far as how it feels, it's been a couple hours. They still feel a little bit irritated. These did not get warm or hot like they did when I got them pierced at Studs, but they are like a little bit irritated still. But really, it's pretty mild. I can just kind of like feel them there. Again, this is what they look like. I also did want to say that they wouldn't accept the jewelry that I bought at Studs. They just said that it's because they're not up to the same kind of standard. So once these are fully healed, I can put those in. So I tried to get something that was just a little different than like a basic stud. It's a little like a marquee shape. That's all. I love you guys so much. Let me know if you have any questions below. You can let me know about your experiences and everything like that. I'd love to hear about them. And I will see you in the next one. Make sure that you subscribe because we are almost at 1,000 subscribers, which is huge. I seriously am so excited. You have no idea. And at that point, I will be doing a giveaway. So make sure you subscribe, stay tuned, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.